Shreveport, brace yourself.
This afternoon's only Major League game, the Mets beat the Pirates 2-0. There's a full slate of Major League games tonight in both leagues. And I guess for now, that's a look at sports.
Oh.
You know, one thing I can throw in here at the end, you know, the Olympics are about to start, and Moscow has completely been shut off. The only Soviet citizens that will be allowed in Moscow are those who can prove they live or work in Moscow.
Or have tickets to the Olympics.
That's true.
Thank you, Darrell.
Two jockeys were double winners today, Ronald Ardwan and Tony Agnello. Agnello rode home the winner in the day's fifth race. About a year ago, the home of New York Yankee slugger Reggie Jackson was ransacked, and among the things he lost was his very expensive 1978 World Series ring. Today, a woman from Scranton, Pennsylvania, who works in an auto refurbishing plant, found the ring in a pile of rubbish.
Darrell, have you ever eaten alligator meat?
How do you cook alligator?
I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow night.
Balloon races?
Yes, hot air balloons.
Do we get to ride in a balloon to do that?
Well, I suppose we could ask
Maybe we
somebody.
could talk to someone.
The Dallas Cowboys weren't flying high yesterday, though, Margaret. They lost to the St. Louis Cardinals by a score of 20-17. Generally, this time of year, you're used to seeing footballs flying or basketballs going through hoops. But rock here is standard equipment for a high school sport that'll be going on in Shreveport tomorrow night and Saturday. If you've never seen a tractor pull, the object is for those big trucks to pull that big green thing as far down that dirt track as they can without blowing up or stopping. Plus, kiss your sister time in Baton Rouge when we come back. Patrick Ewing was playing his last regular season home game for the Hoyas, and he had his game face on early. His mission, revenge, beat Syracuse, mission accomplished. And that's sports.
Boy, some unbelievable things.
Oh, great stuff.
Thanks a lot.
Sure.
We'll be back after this.
No matter how much magic Tom has up his sleeve, Dallas fans are destined to cry and to grieve and to dream of the great days of the silver and blue. Roger, where are you? Please, come back, Drew. Last week's poem about the Dallas Cowboys generated quite a response, but the most interesting came from a fellow named Timmy Hooper in Gary, Texas. Well, Timmy, thank you for that, and here's what I have to say. The Cowboys have fallen, just like we said. It's enough to make you see cardinal red. The famous flex bent then broke, and the offensive attack was such a joke that the once mighty Cowboys died in disgrace. To tell you the truth, they stunk up the place. Why is it that I look on this team with disdain? Well, it's after years of feeling the pain of being a Dallas fan week after week, hoping they'll reach pro football's peak, just to have them fall short 4/5 of the way there. So I decided I simply don't care. I'm no meteorologist, but I can tell you one thing. This is the product of a major thunderstorm. The Teaks never knew they had it so bad. Friends, this is a football field in Natchitoches, underwater. Another thing I can tell you is it's 7 o'clock and the Northwestern State Demons game with Nichols was supposed to start, and because of this horrible weather, the officials have decided to delay the start of the game. From a very wet Rags Turpin Stadium, I'm Darrell Rebouche, Channel 3 Sports.
Oh, join us in sports.
I want some of those orange gooey pumpkin cookies to watch the game with tonight.
There are some very brutal ladies from Texas tonight in the court.
Yes, they're just kind of bovine, if you want to talk about it. And they made absolutely no bull about it tonight. The Longhorns are rolling on, and we'll show you.
These ladies are under serious scrutiny by that huddled group of experts over there.
And Heisman Trophy winner Bo Jackson also got some bad news today. Jackson is trying to decide between a pro football and a pro baseball career. Watch this, climbing steadily higher, onward and upward, intrepid to new heights of silverness. Right about 6 o'clock, so tomorrow is your day to catch Easter dinner.
Intrepid heights of superness.
You like that?
That's great.
I kind of made that up.
That's great. I like that.
Grosso says that he doesn't exactly have a successor, pardon me while my tongue gets lost in my mouth. The Houston Astros are trying to climb back into first place in the National League West. Nice little crowd ranging from the very young to the very old. Well, it's just like that very old to very young. I like that. A nice disparity of people.
I couldn't have said it better.
That game was played in Comiskey Park in Chicago, of course. The White Sox games have been played there for more than 75 years. hit 24 homers in 1961. All right, highlights of this game. If we can ever get to the highlights of the game, let's take a look at the highlights. Thank you very much. Go to the tape. There we go.
We have a very important sports reporter coming up next with something about calf roping or something like that. Next.
And boxing.
Boxing.
So it was quite a fight, huh?
Not really.
Not really, yeah.
It only lasted less than 7 rounds. I'm sitting here looking at the round by round.
Shouldn't contradict an anchor woman, you know that?
Well, I'm a sports
Not if
guy.
it's me.
That's right.
Diane says Leanne and Joni could always set up shop in St. Louis. Darrell Rebouche, Channel 3 Sports. I think it's going to be great. Brody, what do you think?
I think it's going to be super.
An appropriate choice of words. Now, let's find out what the rest of Shreveport thinks. Follow me. Unless the Dallas Cowboys are in the Super Bowl, people really don't care who wins. You may not realize it, but history could be made this fall right here in good old Independence Stadium. Just ask him, how's the stadium coming, Roy? And you get the grand tour. I know firsthand. Oh, no! No, we are not insane. I don't know exactly what that means. How can a tiger burn bright? It seems like you'd be in trouble if you were a tiger and you were burning. But let's face it, I do have a tendency to complain. I was wondering, what can we say about this record? What can we ask Coach Rob that hasn't been said or asked 1,000 times before? You had to figure it was going to be a tight game and bitterly fought. Well, it wasn't that way at all. This night belonged to Dallas. Well, warm weather is here and you start thinking outdoor sports. And boy, did I get a rude awakening the other day when on my day off, a friend of mine and I went out to play tennis. Folks, I can't stand it. I am in way too good a mood. The baseball season hasn't even started yet and I already got my first foul tip. It didn't really come as a surprise when Karl Malone decided to turn pro after his junior year, but you have to know that the coaching staff and his teammates didn't want that to happen. How tough a decision was it?
You know, I just did a lot of praying, you know, and just asked God to help me because I couldn't do it on my own.
So, Darrell, what's going on in sports?
The Cowboys. It was kind of a nice day and I didn't want to stay in the office, didn't really feel like talking about sports, so I thought, I'll go to the Revel. But how can a sports guy go to the Revel? What can I do down there? I thought, well, the only thing I can really talk about is the baseball playoffs, so let's go see if anybody's interested. You going to watch the playoffs tonight?
What playoffs?
Every year, the Tournament of Champions promises great weather, great skiers, and beautiful people. I think it lived up to its advanced billing. The other day, believe it or not, I had a date. And we were driving down here on Uri Drive, just kind of talking, getting to know each other. But then everything stopped when we saw that sign, Okie Bug Lures. I found a happy lure, the gay blade. Norman, why is it called a gay blade?
Because it catches happy fish.
Happy to be eaten for dinner?
Every time.
My serve needed so much work that we just spent the afternoon working on that. Well, all right, Darrell Rebouche, Channel 3 Sports. And that's really all we're involved in is the preparation and the playing of the game, and I don't know how any more meaningful you can get than that. What does that mean? You'd expect maybe LSU players to act kind of like Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer. When you talk about Ole Miss, you expect,
I'm going to reach in your heart and I'm going to pull it out.
But instead we get,
there'll be a lot of Tigers there and there'll also be a lot of Rebels. It'll just be a great game to watch.
already there are mud puddles in the middle of the field, and after tonight's high school game, well, things will be just that much worse. Maybe the Gators are going to spring a surprise on the Giants. Darrell Rebouche, Nightcast Sports. And it's a far cry from the Centenary Gold Dome to places like Reunion Arena and the Boston Garden. But Robert Parrish has made the trip, and he's made it a successful one.
But tomorrow is your shot to win the Bucks because the jackpot will grow. But now, let's get back to Bob Eubanks and those delightful newlyweds.
In the past couple of weeks or so, I've said some things about the United States Football League that weren't necessarily complimentary. I have a confession to make. Actually, more of an admission than a confession. The snake is on the way out. What does that mean? I don't know. We'll have to draw our own conclusions. You may not realize it, but it rained this morning. And while that's good news for farmers, jockeys have a completely different perspective.
After this break, we'll take a look at that calf roping.
No way I can relive the excitement of this game for you in the short time I have. Well, the holiday season is over and you've pigged out. And if you're like me, you've put on a little pot belly and you're worried about it, especially with the swimsuit season coming up pretty soon. You know it, you love it, you can't live without it. My first impressions are that my red shoestrings look really dopey. Many sporting events were postponed or canceled today because of the giant snowstorm that swept up the East Coast yesterday and today. Can we talk?
This building stands out like a beacon of hope. I don't think I'd want to make it into the Fortune 500 on the basis of worms.
Not a bad job. He was in there as a part of a promotion for the local chapter of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and he packed him in and hopefully did a little good. What's really important is the party.
Steve, no, I came here to see some old friends, look at the girls in bikinis, and drink beer. For Jennifer. Are those your old friends? Yeah. Not yet. These are new friends. This is Cindy. And Susan. Are you proud to know them? Very proud.
We're going to say goodnight and goodbye to Darrell Rebouche. This is Darrell's last night here with us.
The last sportscast.
Last weekend.
Depressing.
Yeah. It's been great. We're going to miss you. Things won't be the same.
Well, the thing that strikes me is I could say goodbye and get real sentimental and sappy, but I'm not going that far away. You know what I mean? You don't know what I mean, but if you just keep your eyes peeled and your ears to the ground, I'll be around.